This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Good morning. It is First Alert Weather Breakdown. Not only is it the First Alert Weather Breakdown on a weekday, it is Friday. Welcome on in. Hey, I'm First Alert Meteorologist Evan Thomason. For those of you just joining in for the very first time, it's great to see you. Always fantastic to be on here. On the First Alert Weather Breakdown Weather Podcast, because this is where I just get to be a weather nerd throughout the next 30 minutes, essentially, here for you, instead of being cut off for other news shows and news programs, essentially. So again, on this podcast, we always like to welcome anybody and everybody to let you know what's going on. Essentially, again, this is just weather for 30 minutes with fewer commercials. We do have them, but they're much fewer than what's typically in a news show. And we get to go much more thoroughly into detail of what's going on in the actual forecast here coming up, which I think is the best thing, because sometimes I always give you the first alert, any major details, any major changes happening on by, but we sometimes don't really get into the nitty-gritty details of some things. Some of the specifics that could happen each and every day. Because, for example, over the next 3 days, we have what I love to call a temperature roller coaster. Up and down we go. Today is one of the down days where we have cooler temperatures out and around, but we go quickly racing back up into tomorrow before racing back down into Sunday. We're going to go just thoroughly over those temperatures each and every day, and see what each and every day could bring, because we do have a little bit of some chances for light rain in our forecast for you coming on ahead, which could sprinkle maybe a little bit into the weekend, maybe into Christmas week too. We'll see, and we'll keep you first alert again with the full details on this First Alert Weather Breakdown. And I think most importantly, I don't feel rushed. Most of my sentences on air are just very quick, one after another. They're with purpose for the most part, and we give you the exact details kind of in a condensed, obviously, show to keep people first alert. When everything's slowed down and much more of a conversational format, I feel like it's just more easier for me. Sometimes it's more easier for you to be able to understand. You could even think of this as like study hall session in like school, where the actual lesson is just taught on air, as it normally is. But anyways, I think you get the rundown. Let's get you the actual full rundown of the specifics that we're going over here for the day today. It's a sunny Friday in your local forecast. We're talking about that. We're talking about two important forecasts here for you coming on up. We're talking all about Christmas and Christmas Eve, which are now 6 and 5 days away, respectively. Again, Christmas Eve, 5 days away. Christmas Day, 6 days away. So both of those days are now featured within our 7-day forecast. Pretty cool. We'll give you the full details of that coming on by. And then we have a regional travel forecast to get into for your weekend before Christmas. Some of you, maybe many of you, also looking to travel out and around the Arklatex here for this coming weekend. I want to give a quick shout out right before we start this local forecast to Christian on our YouTube page. Again, feel free to leave a live comment that we can always respond to. If it's a live comment, a live question, we respond to those on air. The point is live. It's supposed to be a conversation. If you chat on our YouTube page, again, you go to youtube.com, search up KSLA News 12, and we should be live on our feed. And you can type in a comment or question that I can respond to. So, hi, Christian. Great to see you. He just said, hey, Evan. Also, Christian, your comment from yesterday, I forgot to respond to it. I did see it, though, yesterday on our Thursday podcast, First Alert Weather Breakdown. I do want to make mention, yes, we do have a fourth meteorologist coming onto the KSLA News 12 team. Very exciting. His name's Jake. He'll be coming on in about 2 weeks. We're going to have so many more details on that closer to when he actually comes in, but pretty cool. If you want more details on that real quick before we get into the full forecast, social media, Facebook. You can check mine. You can dig through my page or Jake Lambright's page. That's the name of the new meteorologist that's coming on in. All right, let's get into the local forecast. Enough chitter-chatter. Let's get into it. Sunshine, welcome back. It is great to have you back in here. Again, it's sometimes the small things in life that make you most appreciative of for the weather. We've had nothing but cloudy skies, misty conditions, even some wet roadways, just some yucky weather to deal with over the past 2 days or so for the most part. And thankfully today it is all sun, blue skies. You just see some traces of some higher level clouds, cirrus clouds. But that's not causing any harm or damage in the slightest. That's a live look into Texarkana. This is a live look out into Shreveport and Bossier now, and it's about the same. Plenty, again, sunshine and blue skies for everybody to hang tight with, which is fantastic. All right, so we got cool sunshine in store for the day today. See, kind of seems like opposite things, doesn't it? We usually associate, obviously, sunshine with warmer temperatures. And to be fair, we are warming up during the progression of the day today. But the fact of the matter is that our temperatures overall are cooler than that of yesterday. That's because yesterday we had a cold front come on by, give us the cold shipment of air, which is settled in for essentially one day today, which is actually quite impressive because we got a wide range of temperatures happening over the weekend. I call this weekend a wacky weekend on our headlines when we introduced the local forecast in its entirety, because we got chances for rain, we got sunshine, we got warm temperatures, we got cooler temperatures. Pick your poison. We'll have it, and we'll discuss what's going to be going down on those certain days here coming on up. And then for Christmas time, we're starting to get a little more certainty each and every day, building closer and closer into a legitimate forecast that, again, has a little more certainty to it, a little more belief in it, so to speak, that it will be warm, yes, and it's looking a lot more like it'll be dry, too, with partly cloudy conditions. Let's get into temperatures first. Get on the wacky ride. That is our temperature department here. Temperatures 55 into Shreveport, 52 into Texarkana. Still got some 40s and some spots of Idabel into Queen, but most of us settling along in the 50s. And to be fair, the fact that we already have low to mid-50s at this hour might mean that we have to up our predicted temperatures here for the day today, believe it or not. But I still do believe that high temperatures will be limited into the 60s today. It was projected that our high temperatures will be in the lower 60s today, but that might actually turn into the mid-60s with us already reaching the mid to low to mid-50s here right now. But the point is, it's cooler here for the day today, and it's also going to be cooler here for Sunday. You'll see both of those days where a little bit of seasonal temperatures in these yellow shades try to creep into the Arklatex here briefly for today and Sunday, with a warm day in between here for tomorrow. But then here's the biggest trend here in the temperature department. We got incredibly warm temperatures settling on, much warmer than average temperature settling in here all the way through Christmas Day. Now, here's the thing. We're going to go over this a lot more in your regional travel forecast, but just to mention this real quick now, this is not just an Arklatex issue. If you want to call it an issue, for those of you that were hoping for a little more of a cooler, it is the season kind of Christmas here this year, again, that's not going to happen. Not only are we stuck with warm temperatures here, we're stuck with warm temperatures if you're traveling anywhere around here. Check this out. We got orange shades all the way as far north as Chicago up through here, all the way as far west as New Mexico, all the way over to Atlanta, all the way far north as Iowa and Nebraska. I know how to point to states correctly. The point is, pretty much everybody around the country is having a much warmer than average Christmas here for this year, with some temperatures about 20 to 30 degrees above average. We're talking highs in the 70s as far north as Missouri and Kansas, which is going to be incredibly impressive. Heat miser taking over. That kind of territory here for the day on your Christmas. So let's get into some actual numbers, shall we? High temperatures today in the lower 60s. That's where they're projected at, maybe mid-60s, a little more out towards East Texas. But honestly, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you, and this is something I can do a little more on the first leg of the breakdown. Let's go a little more low-key on this in conversation. I think it's going to reach the mid-60s, maybe even upper 60s today, to be quite frank with you. Again, it's just discussed. Temperatures are already in the low to mid-50s here currently, and our temperatures, our actual temperatures for highs, have expected or exceeded expectations pretty much day in and day out throughout this entire work week, believe it or not. Our weather models have been predicting a little bit cooler than what has been actually happening in each and every day throughout the Arklatex, which has been a little weird, not going to lie. I hope our weather models do a little better, because this week they've kind of gone on Christmas break a little early. But anyways, let's get you to the main forecast, what's expected here over the next couple of days. High of 77 tomorrow for Saturday. That's a huge temperature run-up. That's about a 10 to 15-degree temperature increase within a single day just into tomorrow. Incredible temperature swing into tomorrow. Then back down into Sunday. Highs in the mid-60s there for your Sunday before going way back on up into the mid to upper 70s. Yes, in time for Christmas. Christmas could have a high in the mid to upper 70s this year, maybe even touching 80. That's bonkers to think about for the end of December. Even for Arklatex standards, my goodness. Might be sweating on Christmas Day. I've heard people talking about maybe going down to the beach and enjoying a nice beach day. Wild. Anyways, so let's get into what's going on with the skies now. Our next main focus of anything that could give us any rain coming on soon, which we do have the chance of storms over the next couple of days, believe it or not. And this system on Sunday has been creeping up on us over the past couple of days here, and now it's become a little more defined, so to speak. It's we now know a lot more what to expect out of it. Essentially, Sunday is the next chance you can get rain out of here. So, again, next 2 days looking nice and dry around here. But then here comes this system on Sunday, which looks eerily similar to what we just had between Wednesday and Thursday, where it's not like a full system of substantial rainfall or a system that gives us any chance of severe weather. None of that. It's just another misty, cloudy day that gives us maybe a little bit of light rain coming on in. And again, that happens on Sunday, and some of that rain could even linger into the work week, the beginning of the week, next week, if you want to call next week a work week. So again, we're getting our next cold front of view that's giving us those conditions, and that'll be giving us another brief cool down, similar to what we are pretty much having here for the day today behind yesterday's misty and cloudy conditions. So here's what happens in our short-term future track. Today, don't worry about it. In fact, there's barely going to be much cloud cover to even look at here for the day today, let alone rain. Again, next 2 days, completely dry. Here's the thing. Once we get into Saturday night, well, first of all, you get into Saturday afternoon, you see a little more cloud cover starting to appear in the afternoon hours, and also winds out of the south. That's what helps to rapidly ramp up those incredibly warm temperatures here for tomorrow afternoon. Then we start forming a lot more cloud cover on Saturday night. And then you begin to form a little line of some light rain showers. It looks like it's first going to start on the eastern half of the Arklatex, especially out in the southwestern Arkansas. Again, this is late Saturday night. This is talking overnight hours leading into Sunday morning. Band of light rain showers almost scattered around the entire Arklatex there for your Sunday early morning. And this is in the overnight hours, 2 to 3 a.m. while you're hopefully sleeping. And then by the time you're waking up to mass here still for Sunday morning, here's the thing. The ground's already wet from the overnight rain, but then you don't have clear skies to be able to really evaporate any of the rainfall from the ground going up to the higher levels. So not only that, we could have still consistent light rain and even some drizzling conditions up until basically lunchtime. And even then, for the afternoon, it still stays completely cloudy with some brief chances of drizzle even into late Sunday night, and there's even the chance of waking up to rain, light rain and light drizzle out for Monday morning. So this could be a big extended period of time where we just continue to deal under the yucky, cloudy conditions that continue to provide drizzle in throughout not just Sunday, but it could even lead into early next week as well. In fact, so we'll go over that a little bit later. As for the temperatures, I meant to put this along with the temperatures. 62 here for today, up to 77 on Saturday. Then that rain comes in, at least cools us off briefly into Sunday, the high of 64. Then each day warming back on up to the 70s once more into next week. And by the time you get into, say, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, it's incredibly much warmer. Incredibly warmer. I think let's just go with that. It's Friday. Anyways. Let's get into some lifestyle forecasts to kind of summarize everything together. First, for the weekend, what's coming first and foremost here before Christmas. So, Saturday, it'd be your better day to get out and about. Here's the thing. Obviously, it's incredibly warm, though, for Saturday. It's going to be T-shirt and shorts weather. You got a high of 77 degrees. That'll be nice for those of you who want a warm retreat out of those cooler conditions in for your Saturday. So, yeah, that'll be intriguing for the first half of the weekend. Again, sunshine will be out and about, maybe a little bit of cloud cover forming late in the day. That leads us to our cloudy day throughout Sunday. Sunday is just going to feel, as mentioned earlier, dreadful, kind of yucky, gross, misty. Again, no chance of severe weather, but it just kind of got that gloomy feeling of cloud cover that lingers on all day long. At least that'll lead us to a cooler day. Highs will be in the 60s for you then. Now, heading into specifically Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Looking kind of similar, but in good regard. Christmas Eve itself might feature some cloud cover still left in the morning hours. That's kind of still remnant from the little chances of some light rain and drizzle that might linger on from Monday and Tuesday. But overall, it should be dry throughout Christmas Eve. You got highs, though, looking in the mid-70s on that day. Those could even ramp up further onto Christmas Day, into the upper 70s maybe, with partly cloudy conditions, and first of all, again, dry conditions and partly cloudy skies, with highs around 77 degrees. So it's great that we have dry conditions, especially because I was a remnant of this last year, and I was thinking about this heading into the podcast here for today. I think Christmas Day last year, we had a first alert weather day on that day because we had some storming issues around Christmas time last year. At least we don't have that problem this year, but again, that biggest headline is just how incredibly warm it's going to be, even for the Arklatex, with highs in the mid to upper 70s. Man, that's just going to be intense here for the middle of next week. So if you're one to enjoy the cooler temperatures, and, 'tis the season, it's actually December, let's make it December temperatures. Today's your day or Sunday's your day with highs in the 60s. But besides that, I mean, highs are way up to the 70s here for Saturday and throughout the bulk of next week. Just watch out for the little light rain and some mist and some cloud cover, especially between Sunday and Tuesday. But look at those rain chances. I think the mist is going to happen, but I'm keeping the rain chances low to not make you fear that any major rainfall is going to happen. Again, the rainfall accumulation from these kind of systems is incredibly, incredibly low, especially because all of it's light rain and mist just coming on down perpetually. So, again, just watch out for that for Sunday and Tuesday, but that should dry up by Wednesday on Christmas Eve, and I think things are looking pretty dry here as well for Christmas Day in the process, too. All right. So that was a full look into your forecast. Checking YouTube real quick. I don't see any comments or questions about any of our Christmas forecasts, so I think we're good to go on all that. So, hey, we're not done. When we come back, for those of you traveling around the Arklatex here for the weekend, we're looking to give you a weekend travel forecast for those of you traveling outside the Arklatex. We'll see how things are looking outside of the region here. Coming up after just a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome on back to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. Hey, again, I'm meteorologist Evan Thompson. Thank you for joining me again here for the day today. We are not done. We are going into we're going into the forecast for those of you traveling out to other family members, to friends, however you're spending this holiday season. Again, you don't need me to tell you to just do it safely, but anyways, I'm hoping the weather forecast will cooperate with your travel so that it doesn't make it a nightmare, so to speak. One of the things, again, we're watching out here locally is, again, just that little chance of some rain coming in here late the weekend and into early next week, which is kind of around the peak of when travel happens around here, sadly. So let's take a look and see what's happening elsewhere around here for the weekend to see exactly how widespread of a rain issue this is going to be. So for today, nice and sunny. Everything's looking great here locally. You're seeing some things coming out of the north and west. And that could trigger on to our chances for storms here a little bit later into Sunday. Now, very impressive. Our cold front that hit us yesterday, just so you know how fast the system has moved, it is now off the East Coast. Just the system that had us with the cloud cover and the mist yesterday. So most of the southeast as a whole is looking actually great. Getting this cloud cover into spots of Oklahoma, though, and a little bit into northern Arkansas, a little bit trying to get out, reach, and creep out towards Dallas in the process, too. Most of that is just resulting in cloud cover, I believe, for now. You can kind of see the colors off these clouds kind of weakening as they're trying to move off south and east, which means they're not really containing much in terms of rainfall here at the moment. In fact, you look at the Doppler radar here regionally, and yeah, these clouds aren't really doing anything from Denver down to Oklahoma City and Dallas. Every drive pretty much around here regionally, if you're doing a drive here for your Friday, is pretty much looking good to go. If we zoom way out, you can see a mess up into the northeast. You got a little snowy mess up into the Dakotas, and then a big rush combine of some rain and some snow there up into the Pacific Northwest. So essentially the corners of the United States are getting all the bulk of everything, while most of the central part of the United States, including everything around here regionally, for now, is looking good. But let's see if that stands in our long-range future track here for you. Into Friday, everything the rest of today is looking good for everybody. That includes our coastal areas, Houston down New Orleans. I know you guys had problems with rain last weekend around there, but it's looking good as of right now in those spots. Once we get into Saturday, watch the cloud cover up from the north. That's still going to look to stay there in place for Saturday. That's how things look pretty good here locally. But then we start getting a little flow out of the Gulf here into, again, Saturday overnight into Sunday morning. And that's when it kind of starts across the Arklatex, but it also could start to trigger some of those storms out towards Mississippi and Monroe as well, kind of towards the northern half of the state of Louisiana, and again out towards Mississippi. Looks like it stays away from Texas here. Let me go ahead and hide my screen here so you can see the full thing. Again, all this is Sunday. Today and tomorrow look pretty much fine for everybody. And then we have some of these spotty storms even showing up on the coastline. Houston, even down in New Orleans, still getting some Gulf flow in for your Sunday that could give you spotty storms anywhere across the state of Louisiana. I think it looks like the only spots that stay completely dry here from Sunday are out towards Dallas and out towards Little Rock, up to our north and out to our west here. So we're going to kind of confirm that on a little more of a written page if the map didn't help you out there. So current conditions, a lot of sunshine all around. Again, we're getting cloud cover a little bit into Arkansas and Oklahoma up to our north, up to the northern half of the Arklatex with some slightly cooler conditions up near there. But still, temperatures widespread in the 50s. That even includes the coastlines down New Orleans and Houston here currently. In fact, highs today still stretch only into the 60s here for some spots, but not certainly for everybody. Still highs in the 50s out towards Little Rock and Monroe out here for the day today. But then you get into tomorrow. That's where the big temperature warm-up comes into play here for the Arklatex, and that's the case for mostly everybody. The only area that stays in the 60s is Little Rock, but besides that, Dallas nearing a high of 80 tomorrow. 75 down towards New Orleans, 75 nearly for Monroe, too. And it potentially reaches over 80 degrees into Houston and southern Texas over the weekend. That's for Saturday. Then we're watching out again for little bits of storms here for Sunday. So the only chance it would rain for anybody around here would be on Sunday, and that looks to be most spots around here, to be fair. New Orleans, Dallas maybe included a little bit. I think the bulk of it's going to be out towards Monroe and a little bit into Jackson as well. Meanwhile, Houston could stay on the dry side of things. A little bit of rain, I think, lingering out towards, Beaumont, Lake Charles area, a little bit farther out to the east. A little bit of some rain possible for near there on Sunday. But Little Rock, up to our north, looks to stay clear of this, hopefully for the most part, as well. So that's a look at your regional travel forecast. We got to go. We have a live stream. Oh, real quick before I go, I'm looking at the YouTube real quick. Christian, do you see anything happening in terms of rain and storms after Christmas? Great question. That's a question that's asked for our 12-day forecast, which does feature a chance for rain. I'm watching out for something heading into 2 weekends from now. Not this coming weekend, but the weekend of December 27th and 28th. That's the next time I could see rain coming back in here. So that's a great question. But it would be, again, after Christmas Day. After Christmas Day in the Arklatex would probably be the next system of rain coming in. I see dry conditions through Christmas Eve and through Christmas Day. It's most important. But, hey, again, that's a great question, especially for plans, especially for coming back home. So watch out for that maybe. with that chance of rain then. But I gotta skedaddle. We have another program coming up here on the live stream on KSLA.com. We have the ribbon cutting of a boat ramp here, which is actually pretty cool. We'll have that on our live stream literally at 11 o'clock. So I got to skedaddle. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a fantastic weekend here. Enjoy it around the Arklatex. I will see you back here next time on Monday at 10:30. We still have episodes through Christmas week. I will see you back on Monday. Yes, myself. I will be back here on Monday morning. We're going to talk more and hype up more about your Christmas forecast coming up early next week. Hey, again, have a great weekend. See you later. Stick around for the opening of the boat ramp. That'll be exciting. That'll be coming up in just a few minutes after these messages.